All right. So today in 8th grade, we covered, finally at long last, the Pythagorean theorem. Now, all the Pythagorean theorem is it is a process of finding a missing edge to a right triangle. This only works on right triangles. This is kind of a visual of it. The theorem itself is that a squared plus b squared will equal c squared. That is the two legs that form the 90-degree angle of a triangle. If you take the square of them and add them together, they will equal the square of the hypotenuse, this diagonal side. Okay, so if I took this side and squared it, so this side times this side, and then b times b, so just like that, I will get two areas which will be equal to the area of this largest square. So our notes consisted of a little diagram. These are the sides. Leg A and leg B, there is no right or wrong way. This one could be A, this one could be A. It doesn't matter. But these two sides, the ones that form that right angle, they have to be A and B. Side C is always the hypotenuse. This is the diagonal edge of your right triangle. Solving them is really kind of pretty straightforward. To solve it, all you are going to do is you are going to find the leg, a missing leg of a right triangle using that formula. And you're just going to plug things in and try to solve it. For example, we had this right triangle, which had a base of 3 and a height of 4. So this we could set as A, this one we could set as B, and we are missing side C. So we just set up our problem. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. So 3 squared equals 9, 4 squared equals 16. Then I can add 9 and 16 together to get 25. Then to cancel out the square, I just take the square root of both sides, and that's going to cancel out my exponent, and the square root of 25 equals 5. And that's how this problem is solved. But we're not always going to get a whole number. In fact, it's very, very rare that we're going to get a whole number as our answer. So another example could be something like this. This was a real example that I had to do when I was trying to figure out kind of a shed-like solution for a house. So for this one, I knew I wanted a steel panels to come down to form kind of like a metal shed on the side of a house. I knew I wanted 12 feet of distance from the house to the bottom of this like A-frame type thing. And I knew that I had 18 feet maximum to work with as high as I could put it. I just didn't know how long the steel panel could be. So I set up this problem. I set 12 equal to B, and I set 18 equal to A. And I was left with 18 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. I went ahead and did 18 squared to get 324, 12 squared to get 144, added them together to get 468 equals c squared. Now, there are two possibilities. These types of questions are weird. This doesn't strictly fall into calculator active or inactive. It kind of depends. If this kind of question appears in a calculator inactive section, this will be the answer choice you'll be looking for. Okay? If there are no calculators allowed and this is a test question, they would phrase it in such a way that you did not have to find the square root of that. Okay? That's covered in a different standard. However, if this were a calculator active question, they would want you to punch this into a calculator and solve it, usually rounding to the nearest tenth. So when we tried it in a calculator, we got 21.6 and it gave us a bunch of more stuff. So we rounded it down to 21.6. Okay? So that is the way that these problems are solved and what to do whether or not it is calculator inactive or calculator active. And that's pretty much it. Pythagorean theorem, one of those things that people think is hard right up until they try it. That's it. Hope this helps.